Hello, welcome back to my channel, Intuitive Insights in Tarot by me. I'm Scott. Oh, we had a bit of a flood last night. That's why I'm a little bit late, and I wasn't able to prepare for this as best as I should have. Should have made some notes about things that I wanted to say and get some videos ready that I want to share with you about Ascension, about entering into the golden age. So, doing this off the top of my head, first let me say that I am available for private readings. If you're watching this now and you've had a reading with me before, I'd appreciate if you put in the chat about your experience with me. Let people know that you wouldn't be disappointed if you had a tarot reading with me. Yeah, my email's in the chat. I don't have a website yet. I really need to get that going, but I don't know how to do it. Hi, everybody in the chat. Looking at my phone here. Oh, yeah, so I am very available right now. I can show you. See, here's my schedule for this week. Let's see, it's wide open. So if you would like to book a session with me this week, I can get you in, no problem. Okay, so I got that out of the way. Miss Mia Pearl, well, I'm available. I use Zoom and I record the session for you. And a lot of people are very happy with my readings when they have a session with me. Who's here? Lacey Blue? Mm, thank you for your message, Lacey Blue. All right. What am I talking about today? Yeah, so I figured I'd come in and talk about some of my thoughts, my ideas. They're not my ideas, actually. I got this from David Wilcock back around 2010 when I was following David Wilcock quite a bit. You guys may have heard of him. He had a bit of a fall from grace recently, mainly because he made predictions that didn't come true, which is, I wish he would have talked to me. I would have told him not to do that. Don't do that. Well, don't try to predict things. Even though I'm a tarot card reader, right? And technically, people call me a fortune teller. And how I correct people, no, I'm not a fortune teller. There are possible and probable outcomes. And as soon as you know those possible, probable outcomes, you can change them. Oh, hi, Rose RG. Thank you for the comment there. Yes, we've had some very powerful readings together. RG and I have. Um, I was able to connect with her very well. Okay. Yeah. Before I get into readings, and I do have one already in the Buy Me a Coffee. That's how I'm going to be taking your questions today, through Buy Me a Coffee. I've disabled the super chats because I've reached my goal on YouTube. I'm going to get paid a little something this month, and now I got to reach my goal for this week, which I always try to make at least $200 a week and through my Buy Me a Coffee, which is direct readings. And I'm about $40 short this week. So that's my goal today. And so I only need like 4 more $10 donations. and I'll do your reading here. But like I said, before we get to that, I want to talk about Ascension and uh, how did I call it in the title of this? I can't remember. So, oh yeah, and how cymatics relates to that. Yeah, I got a couple of videos here I'd like to show you. It's this one over here. And I know you won't be able to hear the sound on these. Start with cymatics. So here's a video. Sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but start off with this quote by Nikola Tesla. I think I'm not sure I quoted him correctly in the comments. If you want to find the secrets to the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, right? It's funny, remember I grew up back in the 60s and the hippies always talk about the vibe, man. You got bad vibes. And back then we thought it was something really kind of woo-woo that didn't make sense. But now we know. And when I found out that there is literal vibration in the universe all the time, like that's what the Schumann resonance is, and how atoms work through vibrations and all that. It became not just this hippy dippy idea, right? So this is sound resonance and how it affects particles of salt. Let's see if I can speed this up. Okay, so it scatters the salt and then uses a tone generator, and you get these complex geometric shapes, right? So it starts randomly and with a very simple shape at first. And as you increase the frequency, the designs get more and more complex. I look forward to it, Rose. And so the idea is that we as organisms, living organisms, raise in these densities, right, of vibration. And it's a form of evolution, but we don't evolve the way science teaches us, right? Over billions of years, with most mutations being mistakes that would never be survivable in nature, right? So there are these. It's almost like an octave. It's in music. This would be an octave change, right? How you go from how music increases from one octave to another. There's nothing in between those octaves. If I'm getting this right, it's like the sudden shift that happens. Everything goes to that higher frequency, right? Okay. Now let me take you over here to David Wilcock. And once again, the sound is off, so I'll have to explain this. So what he did was he found these studies by these I guess anthropologists or people who are digging up fossils. And what they find in the fossil record is that there's not this gradual, like you would expect to see if evolution was this steady increase from simple forms to more complex forms, you would see a line going like this somewhat, right? But in the geological record or the fossil record, what you have are these spikes that happen every 26 million years. Okay, and then he explains that there's another one that happens, a bigger one that happens every 62 million years. Right, and he also talks about stop share. That's okay. There we go. And so, so the idea is that periodically the Earth and all life forms on it, us included, have these sudden leaps in evolution. And this is what's coming. The age of Aquarius, the golden age, the coming golden age. And like who's going to be coming into that? Some people say only those of us who are awake. And that may be. That the rest are all like NPCs, and they're just not awake enough. Their soul isn't advanced enough to make this evolutionary leap. I'm not sure if that's true. Maybe everybody will, because it's just something. It's like we're on a roller coaster ride, and when that roller coaster makes that climb, everybody's on the train, and we're all in it together. So anyway, I know I'm not the best presentator presenter here. This sounded a lot better in my mind when I was thinking about explaining it. But but yeah, I just wanted to share this idea that that's why you hear things like nothing can stop what's coming. Oh, I remember the other thing I want to say. This is also connected with the solar flash. I'm not gonna. I always get kind of flustered because I hate dead air, and I don't want to sit here fumbling around looking for things while you guys are watching. And I always do these early in the morning, and I didn't get up early enough to set up everything and like have everything on timestamps, and I could just click to it. I don't want to be searching for things live. It's going to put a lot of you off. And I want to get to your readings. I'm getting some coffees here. Okay, so I suggest going and watching this series by David Wilcock. Where is it? I lost it now. Okay, whatever. I'll put the links in the description. You can go check it out for yourself. Oh, the solar flash. So he goes on in this video series that was put out in 2010 to explain how in Russia they did these experiments whereby shining a laser beam through frogs' eggs and then into a salamander's eggs, they were able to make the salamander eggs change their DNA all through light. In other words, light has the capability of carrying information of DNA, genetic information, and then supplanting that information into another life form. So the theory goes like this, that in the center of our galaxy, there's a central sun, like the source sun. Maybe that's where God sits. And periodically through history, there's this pulse of energy that comes from that center source, and through light upgrades our DNA. Okay, that's the best I can do. I want to thank Stacy for moderating in the chat. And without further ado, the fun part, your questions. So let me go over to my Buy Me a Coffee emails. And by the way, the first one I got was last night before I even went to bed. And I don't know if he saw my the title of this or if this was coincidence, but his question is right on line with this topic today. If I can find it, I believe here it is. And this comes from Sean. Thank you, Sean, for your question and for your donation. And Sean says, a medical intuitive mentioned to him that many of us shall be upgraded. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Into new and optimally functioning bodies, and that we would be portaled into this new higher state of being. Okay, now use that word portaled. So, yeah, this is kind of like what I'm talking about. This light opens a portal, you could call it, that changes the DNA. Okay, so his question is: a sudden split of worlds about to occur, such as the event many mention, whereby spirits shall be upgraded or recycled depending on their vibrational state of being? Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. And by the way, I used to study the Bible a lot, and Revelations and the second coming of Christ was the main focus of that study. And there's one line in there when it talks about the rapture. Now, I don't know if the rapture and ascension are the same thing. I've heard people say that they're not the same. To me, to my mind, they are. And in this quote in the Bible, it says that in the twinkling of an eye, all those who have died will be raised up and perfect, and all those who are still alive will be instantly transformed. And this is the way I think ascension is going to happen. It's not going to be this gradual progression. It's going to happen in a flash, like a solar flash, in the twinkling of an eye. I think that's what the Bible was referring to. Okay, this is the event. This could be the event. And I'm also curious: is everybody is this gonna happen for everybody or just the chosen few? And I hate that term, the chosen. I like saying we're not the chosen, you're not the chosen, you have chosen. That's the difference between us and those who are still asleep. We have chosen to awaken, right? When you call yourself the chosen, or you say we are the chosen, that sets us apart, and it seems like a way of dividing people. I just don't like the term. It seems a bit grandiose. Okay, so Sean's question. Let me read it one more time. Okay, and some people think this split has already happened. And yeah, I don't prescribe to that idea. I think we're going to know it when it happens. I don't think it's going to happen and we're going to be thinking, oh, nothing's happened yet. I think we're going to know damn well that it happened. Okay, so the other thing is, the question is it going to happen? It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen personally because of my own personal revelations that I could share with you, but I don't expect you to believe it because it's my personal experience. It's something that happened to me. Okay. I was told that it was going to happen when I was 19 years old in my lifetime. I've been waiting. Here we are, what, 40 years for it to happen, and I see it happening in front of me. So uh, it's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And by the way, I'm not going to try to tell you when it's going to happen either. I guess I'm asking, what's it going to look like? But since you did buy me the coffees, Sean, maybe I should answer it the way you wrote it. Is a sudden split of worlds about to occur, such as the event? I know you guys are going, just do read the cards, okay? But this is hard. Okay, this is why nobody's getting this right. By the way, I'm not going to give a date because if I did give a date and it was correct, then that would change everything. Every time people do that, it changes the timeline. So stop giving dates. They never come out. Why do you think they never come out when people say they're going to? Depending on their vibrational state of being. Okay, that can be a big part of this question too. Are some people just not going to make it? Without further ado, let's draw cards. The event, the Great Awakening, the shift, the solar flash, the DNA upgrade, it's all the same thing in my mind. Okay, the first card is us. Now this is a nine of pentacles. So this we are on at the cusp. We are ready. Okay. Nine in numerology is like the perfect number. And there's a big ace. Yes, it's imminent. It is. It could happen. You could wake up one morning and find that you are a completely different being, that you have evolved telepathic powers, and there's the split. Now, I think it's interesting that these are all minor arcana, and that's because even though this is a supernatural event, to us it's natural because we will be supernatural beings at that time. That's my take on this anyway. And well, I know people are saying that only like 20% of us are awake, or 20% of us, or something like that, is going to make the shift, but I'm leaning towards more of a 50-50. Okay. This Six of Pentacles and the two. Um, so yes, it's definitely going to happen. This is information, by the way, that they've tried to keep secret uh, since the beginning of human history. Um, but yes, it's going to happen imminently. We're entering this portal, and this is a portal card. So portal, to your question, Sean, is a good word to use here. It is like we're passing through a portal. And at this time, some of us, not everybody's going to make it. Like I was hoping that this would be like everybody would be brought along, but not everyone's going to make it. But this is a far better number than what we were getting before, which was like 20%. I'm seeing now, I think it's going to be more like 50%. So I think we can help that by getting the word out. I don't think anybody I know in my immediate family is ever going to accept this truth. But maybe there's still some people in your family who will be open to it, because through kindness to others, by letting people know about this, makes them more. Maybe that's why we're going to get it up to 50%. Okay. Um, did I answer your question? Whereby, yes, it's definitely going to happen, and we're right on the verge of it. When? All I can tell you is in my lifetime. I'm going to be 60 in October. I I expect I could live into my 80s, no problem, but who knows? Those of us alive today, once med beds are out, could be living for hundreds of years. All right. I want to thank you, Sean, for that question. And let me try to get through these because it looks like I've got a few coming in. All right. Let me check this one. And this is from, oh, there's no question here. And it doesn't have a name either. So give me a minute, folks. Let me try to figure this out. Hmm. So who? I hate when it says someone bought me 3 coffees and there's no message there. So thank you, someone. I wish I knew who you were. Oh, I see. There's a email. Janet. Thank you, Janet. Did you have a question? And then Here's one by Lone Star Galaxy. Again, I'm not seeing a question here. Uh, let me do this. If you bought coffees and you didn't put your question in there, then put it in the chat. Oh, here we go. I got you, Lone Star. Is there something blocking me from being able to heal myself? I'm dealing with a bout of cellulitis. Did I read that right? Cellulitis. And I'm trying to treat it naturally and energetically. Am I doing something wrong? Cellulitis. That's not really an illness, is it? Isn't? Oh no, maybe I'm getting it wrong. Why is my camera out of focus? Okay, it doesn't matter. I don't need to know what cellulitis is. Why am I out of focus? There we go. Okay, so this is for Lone Star Galaxy. She's trying to heal herself of cellulitis. For some reason, I'm thinking of cellulite, right? That bumpy fat that we get sometimes. But I'm going to assume that cellulitis is an illness, something, and she's trying to heal herself for good reason. I understand she doesn't want to go to a doctor, and what's blocking her. So this is for you, Lone Star Galaxy. What's blocking you? Turn the camera down. Okay, Lone Star Galaxy. Hmm. Four of Pentacles. Pentacles, Pentacles. Now, with all these pentacles, I would think that you would have some healing ability. But we have the Chariot. Hmm. You're right. So I hope I'm getting this right. It looks like you are quite good at healing others, right? It looks like you have even people tell you that you've been able to heal them. And as far as anything blocking you, hmm, got all these pentacles, and then this chariot as the outcome. I don't know. It's almost like this is something that you're able to do for others, but when it comes to yourself, I don't know. It's like what is this chariot? You're being drawn in two different directions. We have the two. The chariot is those beasts on the chariot are taking you in two different directions. You have your higher self and then your physical self. So you've got to find a way when working on yourself of merging these two things. We have this split here, the physical and the spiritual. And for some reason, when you're trying to heal yourself, they go in separate directions. What can you do? That too much. So it's almost like you've exhausted yourself healing other people. So what you've got to do is you've got to do you take time to love yourself? It's like you're putting all your energy into other people. Do you ever pamper yourself? Do you ever do anything for yourself that is like go to a spa or take a vacation, just spend some time with yourself. Stop giving all your energy away and take all this energy and put it directly into yourself. You have to love yourself more. I'm sure you probably feel like you do. If you're a healer and you're a light worker, you know that you have to love yourself first. But you've been putting all of your energy into others and you haven't been saving any of it for yourself. And in order to focus that on that, you have to go and do have a holiday, a vacation, something where you spend money and lavish yourself um, with comfort and make yourself beautiful, make yourself feel good. Okay, I think that will remove this block that you have. Um, don't forget, you have to give yourself as much love as you give others. Okay, thank you very much for that, Lone Star Galaxy. I hope that answered your question. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, plenty of time. Let's see. This is from H. Green. Tons of people are posting videos where you can see what appears to be two suns. Oh, yeah, that's been going on for a long time. And even though I'm always skeptical of these things, because I've yet to see it, but I'm convinced that it's true. It's happening. There are two suns. It's definitely not the moon. What is the other sun, in quotes, being seen? Great question. Great question. I love this one. Anybody in the chat? Has anybody in the chat seen this? That up here. And I'm really sorry. I wish I could read the chat and talk and do cards all at the same time, but it's really hard for me to do that. Oh, hi, Joy. Joy King. Nice to see you in the chat. Who else is here? People I know. Okay. Focus, Scott. What is that second sun that people can see? I remember when I was convinced Nibiru was coming and it was going to end the world. You guys remember that from about 12 years ago? That was all the big conspiracy theory that Planet X was coming. And by the way, in that video series that David Wilcock was in, the one I suggested you watch, explains how climate change is not just happening on Earth; it's happening on all the planets. So according to NASA's sensors and space probes and things like that, all the planets are heating up, not just the Earth. Isn't that interesting? Uh, okay, second sun. What's that about? Hopefully, the universe will want to tell us because sometimes we just don't get the answers. Queen. Okay. Wow. Three of Swords. All right. So you notice there are no major arcana here. This is a man-made thing that's going on. Um, it has to be. This is something that's been brought into being by by men. It's something new. It's a new form of science, and I know we've seen this. That I've heard these reports that China was thinking about creating an artificial sun, and that's exactly what we have here. By the way, there have been some problems with it. Either it didn't work the way they wanted it to, or it did something. Um, like it had a result that was undesired, and that's why you're not seeing more of them all over the place. Um, Either they don't last very long, or they have some effect that is undesired, and so it's like it's not good for people, and it's not good for the world. So yeah, but but yeah, this it's it's not supernatural, and it's not another heavenly body coming like Nibiru or something like that. It's something that's being man-made. It's not an illusion. It's actually a physical thing, but it's like it's been created through technology. Okay. All right. Let me find my next question. It'd be great if I could hear you guys talking. And do we have any more? I think that might be all the coffees for now. And let me make sure that I've got all the coffees answered. Now, if you want to ask me, um, I should have told you that. Oh, sorry. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss any coffee questions. And where do I go? Sorry, trying to multitask here. I'm thinking and I'm working here at the same time. Is that one? Oh, I think I got them all. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so now I want to come and read your chat. See what you guys are saying here. Okay. Martha says, I think they are too. Not sure. I wish I knew what that was talking about. Split has not happened. Yeah, I don't want to debate. Other people have their ideas, and they say that the Earth ascended, and we're still creating this reality that we're stuck in. But no, I think it's something we're going to feel it when it happens. We're going to know it. You're not going to be, oh, we've ascended, but yet I still have to go to work, and I still have to do my mundane things. Okay. Marcy's in Illinois. Okay, here we go. From Stacy. I think that, yeah, Stacy's got a question. Are those that are awake the solar flash? As we rise our vibration, we light up the world in a flash. Um, no, the flash is coming from outside of us. Okay, it's coming from source creator, and then through us. Thank you, Stacy. Hasn't almost everything I created uh, been created by tech? Um, no, Marcy. Uh, the powers that are, or think they are, the powers that were, whatever you want to call it, that use try to use science to create in the same way God creates, right? And so anything that's what, for example, that second son, they're trying to mimic the creative power of God by creating the sun, and it doesn't work because it's coming from science, or it's coming from a lower form of technology than the creation. All right, and you know what, guys? I have got a huge mess to clean up outside from the flood that we had yesterday. Um, And so I think I've reached my goal. Let me see. Let me check my buy me a coffees. Yeah, I've got a lot to do today. If I reached my goal, then I'm going to call it. And while I'm checking it, let me just say thank you to everybody out there who supported me and just by watching. You don't doesn't matter if you sent donations or not. If you're watching, you're sending me your positive vibes and excuse me. Um, and so often I can feel your love coming through. Honestly, it raises me up. It yeah, it really helps. Here I go trying to multitask again, but not quite there. So let me come back to my chat here. So if you don't have any money for coffees and you want to ask me a question about like current events, metaphysical things, put that in the chat and I'd be happy to answer. Hello, 77X Wild. Thank you for being there. Yeah, you're an admin. Thank you, Marcy. So yeah, you can hit me with a question in the chat. I'd be glad to answer it. If it's personal questions, I prefer in Buy Me a Coffee. But if you have questions about anything else, you can put it here in the chat. And 30 people watching. Why we feel sick? Who feels sick? I've been feeling great ever since I went through some type of purge. My body decided that it was time to purge all the toxins and negativity that I had acquired over 12 years, and so I got real sick. I mean, like there were 3 days where I couldn't even stand up, and I didn't eat for over a week. I lost about 20 pounds, and once I got over that, I felt great. Having lost the weight, not I'm exercising now too, which is something I have not been doing. But I finally start exercising. That's making me feel great. I'm starting to get a little bit of muscle tone back. We come back and see this in about 6 months. You're going to be impressed. Maybe I'll start wearing tank tops, showing off my tattoos like Phil G does. Um, so if you feel sick, maybe you gotta I don't know change something, change what you're eating, start exercising. By the way, the exercise has done a lot for my mood. I was depressed, and exercising floods your brain with endorphins, and it really helps with that. Someone in Burnaby, please ask the cards about the moon. Okay, I've done this before, and unfortunately, I this was about a year and a half ago when I was looking for content to put on my channel, and I was doing edited videos. I would put tons and tons and tons of work in, and then videos would end up earning like $10 or $20. That's why I don't do those anymore. Anyways, so let me tell you what I got on the moon when I did my read on the moon. I got four kings, four of a kind. You know how hard that is in poker? Do you know how much harder it is in tarot? Because you have 70, I can't remember now, 72 cards or whatever it is. So four kings and there was a chariot. Okay. And so what I interpreted this to mean was that, oh, and in the past, the moon was a nefarious object. It's a spacecraft that was brought here from somewhere else, another realm. And it was being under the control of the Draconians, and it was used for mind control and for observation and all kinds of other nefarious things on the Earth. Since then, it's been commandeered, taken over by four uh, galactic races: Octurians, Andromedans, Pleiadians, and Syrians. They those four galactic races jointly are in control of the moon now. So yes, just like in that movie about the moon being this hollow spaceship, and inside there's all this mechanisms and stuff. That's exactly what the moon is. However, that's not what we're seeing when we look at the moon, because if you could see the moon, you would see all of these structures, which people do, by the way. People do get videos of this, but there's also this a hologram that's being projected over the moon. So yeah, the moon is a spacecraft that was brought here from, I guess, Draconis, by the reptilians, and was used to mind control us and things like that. What's his name? David Icke talks about that quite a bit. So when I got those four kings around the chariot, and when I'm asking about galactic things, chariot's a spacecraft. Um, that was pretty cool. Yeah, exercise does change the brain. Jackie Gleason. I was severely depressed and was thinking about like being, seeking treatment for it back in 1999 when I went and, you guessed it, hiked the Appalachian Trail. And when you're on the trail, you're doing basically a marathon every day. And so imagine flooding your brain with endorphins every day. And that reset my brain chemistry. When I came back from the Appalachian Trail, no more depression. And I felt like that for about 5 years. After about 5 years, and I still was at that time hiking a lot on weekends, and I went and did another long distance hike in that 5 year period. Um, but gradually, I started to go back into that mindset. That's when I decided to leave the United States altogether and uh, and try to find more meaningful life for myself in this world. And that's when I became an English teacher for 18 years. Uh, Something that was a dream that I'd always had. I'd had it for a good 20 years before I actually did it, and then I was able to achieve it. Okay, well, I want to thank the people who were in the live chat. We got up to like 30 people today, and I think I did okay by myself. I want to thank all the people who sent the coffees, and if you would like a private reading with me, I'm available. You can email me, and the email's in the description. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you all for being here. Time to end the show. See if I can remember how to do this now. Okay, I come over here. I want to wish everyone a wonderful evening and have a wonderful week. And I'll see you next time. And I'm going to end my live stream now. And thank you. Thank you all for helping me do my job. You're all a big part of it. Couldn't do this without you. Good night, everybody. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. God bless. Enjoy life. Goodbye.